Oh, are we on? What do you want to know? Why did we do it? We were young and stupid, so we did it. It was a bold, crazed move on my part to make some sense out of this wacky world we lived in. After all, the 60s were over, had gone down the tubes, been somehow squashed by who knows what, by the sheer force of its own foolishness. So there we were in Boulder, in the hip center of the universe, and good night. So we did it. We did it because we just had to find one more way to, well, I guess we'd say, express ourselves. Anything else? Go ahead, ask me a question.
I thought it was about the 30s and the 40s, not the 60s.
Well, it was, sure. I mean, there I was. I had a good background in rock and roll and in Appalachian kind of folk banjo music, but this couple, Ben and Teddy Schubert, to be exact, took me and Tim over to their apartment and made us listen to Ella Fitzgerald and to Duke Ellington and Ivy Anderson until our brains collapsed and we couldn't take it anymore. They forced us. Well, with leather thongs and swing. And that's true. Ben Schubert went on to, believe it or not, play with the Kingston Trio. And I guess he's back in Brooklyn now with Teddy. Hi, Teddy. Hi, Ben. You're the greatest, I mean it. What else? A highlight, oh God. I think what immediately comes to mind is not highlights. The third album? We were going to make a third album at one point, but that's when we broke up. So we didn't do that. Tom, I don't know what to tell you. It was fun while it lasted. But it didn't last, just like everything else. So, we burned as brightly as we could while we could, and I'm glad we had the chance to get together tonight and try that again. It felt very unique one more time. You people out there believe me, don't you? Sure you do. Of course you do. I think the mink underpants made it fun. We all decided to make it just that, put that little bit of specialness on it, so we all went out and got the mink underpants.
What exactly would inspire someone to want to come and see your concerts? What's your big rock video?
What would inspire someone to see our concerts? You mean this was it, our last concert. That was it. Tom, the thing that would inspire someone to come and see our concert was a very unhealthy longing for what used to be instead of a courageous facing of the present and the future. And I think that's what we provide so well. Do you believe me? Of course you do. What else? What do you mean? These people thrive, these people live to see the Ophelia Swing Band. There were a small group of folks out in a tiny little mountain college town out in the middle of nowhere. This is not New York, this is not Los Angeles, this wasn't Trend City, this was our thing. They came to dress up in flimsy nighties and see the Ophelia Swing Band. That's what they did. And they relived that tonight. That I experienced tonight? The most exotic thing that I experienced... You gotta be kidding. The most exotic thing that I experienced tonight was a F-sharp 7 flat 5 chord. You musicians in the audience will know what I'm talking about. F sharp 7th flat 5. You need more information?
Well, if you wanted to tell me sort of how it started and how it came.
Okay, this is the truth. There was this band called Fly and the Zippers, and all of those guys, if you are from around, if you're from around here, you'll know who Fly and the Zippers are, because Fly is still here, and Bobby Rangel, I think, was in that band, and a couple other folks that I remember so well. And there we had a bunch of friends who were sort of friends of the band, and we used to hang out at on Canyon. There's a street called Canyon, right? And we used to hang out in the backyard there, and I met a gal by the name of Jane Reed, who is very important to the whole process. She wasn't here tonight because I forgot to call her up and tell her that it was going to happen. I'm sorry, Jane. But she was playing some ragtime piece that she had just learned on the piano. And I said, I'm going to play that with you. I began going over to her house and forcing her to play music with me, which she always tells me. I don't remember this, but she tells me that I used to hang around her house and wait for her to play music with me. And I would tell her that we were going to form a band, and until I told her over and over again, and then she finally did it with me just to get me off her back. And we played with a friend of mine named Alan Smithline, who is around here from time to time. Right? I'm trying to give him the facts. He wants to know. We met Linda Joseph, who's right over there. We met her when she was, I don't know why she was playing at the People's Fair in Denver, but we were all high on LSD. And we went down there, and she played great, and she looked ridiculous, but she played great. And we said, "Hey, man, want to join our band?" Wow. And she was in no position to say no at that point. What we were playing on the street, and you came up and pushed your way in. She definitely impressed us. So we met Dwayne up at Hannah's Health Food Restaurant because he walked in with his dog in his base. He's still got his dog in his base, and so you want to join a band? And we didn't know anything about this kind of music. We were just learning it. Met Tim at a music store and talked him into it. And we practiced up a few tunes. We played at the Oxford a lot. And it's been downhill ever since, let me tell you. It's been the worst ever since. You know, I've been able to parlay this experience, that we had in the early 70s, putting this band together, into $1 million. A lot of fast cars, a lot of cute babes. I met Chaz on the street. He was playing on the street with Snakebite Jacobs and a couple other people. And he was playing on the street. And I said, sit in with us. And it was a lot of fun and seemed like the rhythm kind of thing we needed. So we played a lot of gigs after that. I was on the phone a lot. I got a lot of flat ear from being on the phone trying to talk people into hiring us, which they didn't want to do. Couldn't understand anything about it. What we had to do was convince the folk mafia in Denver that we were okay to make albums, and I think that one night Judy Roderick's bass player fell on her 0045 Martin, and pre-war 0045 or something like that, and broke it to pieces. And it's I think those things are going for about $5,000 or $6,000 now. So we did a benefit concert for her at the Folklore Center, and the Ophelia Swing Band played, and we played, and that's when Harry Tuft saw us. Hi, Harry, how you doing? And I think he talked the folks at Biscuit City into making a record. And if this makes a bit of difference to you, you have a serious problem with reality. Okay? All right. Linda is Linda is a Tijuana suck artist, and she's no. I'm sorry, that's terrible. Cut that out. What Linda is doing is collecting colorful plastic bags on the street and putting them all in one place. Tim O'Brien is a star in his own right. Washboard Chaz is still doing what he does best. Dan Sadowski is going into the field of mind control, and Dwayne would be glad to wash your windows. Did I leave anybody out? No, I didn't. I did teach school. I taught. It was for handicapped kids. It was for gay, lesbian, dwarf Nazis, and it was a very special group, and it took some very specialized training. They're unteachable basically. And but I taught them. I taught them how to clap hands. It was great. I taught them how to pick cotton. Anything else, Tom? What I'm doing next is I'm still living in Aspen, and I'm still doing what I've been doing for 7 years. I've been teaching at a school up there. And what I'm doing next, you'll learn about in the next installment of Ophelia Swing Band Bites the Dust. Can we stop now? What I'd like to, honest to God, what I'd like to do next is learn how to do computer animation with on fancy computer animation graphic workstations like Bosch and Aurora and Paintbox and things like that. I'd like to do that. That's what I'd like to do. Huh?
They're not too hard.
No, they're fun. Yeah.
There's a new one. There's a place out in New Jersey. Where it's a video artist. Just creating things. It's like an audio synthesizer. It's really nice stuff.
Yeah. So, if anybody out there wants to hire the handicapped, I suggest you do it immediately and not waste any time with the middle level management kind of thing, but let's go right to about 80, 90 grand a year, all right?